So let me tell you about the scariest night of my life. It happened a few years ago when I was working the night shift at a quiet office building. I never believed in ghosts or supernatural stuff, but what I experienced that night still gives me chills. It was around 2 a.m., and the office was eerily silent. The only sounds were the hum of the fluorescent lights and the occasional creaks of the building settling. I was alone at my desk, buried in work, trying to meet a tight deadline. The air was heavy with an unsettling stillness. As the minutes ticked away, I began to hear strange noises from the floor above me. It wasn't the usual creaks and groans of an old building. It was more like muffled footsteps and whispers. I dismissed it at first, thinking it was just my tired mind playing tricks on me. But as the night wore on, the sounds grew louder and more distinct. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to investigate. I grabbed a flashlight from the supply closet and made my way to the staircase. The higher I climbed, the more the whispers seemed to intensify. It was as if the walls were holding on to secrets, and they were leaking through the cracks. When I reached the top floor, the atmosphere changed. The air felt thicker, and the temperature dropped noticeably. The only source of light was my flickering flashlight as I cautiously walked down the dimly lit hallway. The whispers were now audible words, but they were in a language I couldn't understand. I approached the office at the end of the corridor, and the whispers seemed to be coming from inside. The door was slightly ajar, and I could see a faint glow seeping through the gap. I took a deep breath and pushed the door open. To my horror, the room was filled with a soft, otherworldly light. In the center of the room was a circle of old, tattered books, each one opened to a page covered in strange symbols. I couldn't make sense of the writings, but they seemed ancient and malevolent. The whispers had transformed into guttural chants that echoed through the room. As I stood frozen in the doorway, the air became charged with an unnatural energy. Shadows danced across the walls, and I could feel an unseen presence watching me. Panic set in, and I stumbled backward, slamming the door shut. The moment the door clicked, the whispers ceased, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. I ran back down the stairs, not daring to look back. My heart pounded in my chest as I reached my desk, and I packed up my things without a second thought. The building, once a place of mundane work, had become a realm of the inexplicable. The next morning, I mustered the courage to ask my colleagues about that top-floor office. To my surprise, they claimed no knowledge of any strange occurrences. They brushed it off as my imagination, but I knew what I had experienced was real. Since that night, I've never been able to shake the feeling that something dark resides within the confines of that office building. I left my night shift job shortly after, unable to face the prospect of encountering those unsettling forces again. So, there you have it, folks. A night that still haunts my dreams. I've tried to convince myself that it was all in my head, but deep down, I know I stumbled upon something beyond the realm of the living that night. The memory of those whispers and that ominous light will stay with me forever.